are encouraged.
Coffee with a Dog is live streaming now. My dog is your mind's best friend.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs
Come
walking.
on.
That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
I don't think so. You know, we're not laughing. There's no laughing. There'll be no laughing. What the hell is that? All right, come on. Hello? Hello? Testing 1, 2. I'm always a little... Oh, I got to hit the stop button because that's going to want to start again. Shoosh, you got to be quick on that. Good morning. Oh, looks like we got volume here. You never know with this system, and we don't know what system we're going to use. We're probably going to go back to the drawing board, back to the cave, and try to come up with our own system. We're going to build a system from scratch, from Legos and maybe cups with strings attached. Anyway, good morning. It is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. So far, 2025 is sucking just as much as 2024 has. And it might get worse. It's going to get worse because price of eggs is going up. I don't know if you noticed. Price of gas is going up. I don't know if you noticed. All the things that you thought were going to get better, they're going to get worse. So, ha, 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 ha. Jokes on all of us. Thank you very much. So, yeah, we have a show for you today. Pete Price, who has been with us before, singer-songwriter out of Dayton, Ohio. I'm not Dayton, Ohio. It's a lot of people to date. Maybe 1 or 2 people in Ohio. And then in the second hour, we have Dr. John Chanaka. Easy for me to say. I'm going to sneeze, by the way, if you care. Dr. John Chanaka, who is an author, who has written a book about parenting, the power parenting. Okay, that's what we're going to talk today. Are you ready for this? Yeah. So I'm going to play a commercial if I could find a commercial, because I know I have commercials. Yeah, I do have commercials. Opus clip. Listen, you could spend 20 minutes manually creating, and actually longer, to find the piece that you want to incorporate, like G.D. Fenderson does. You could spend all that time to make a clip, or you could just dump it into Opus Clip and have it done for you while you go masturbate, which is what I do every day. Links in the description. It could be somebody might have screwed it up, and that somebody would be me. So there's that. It's not too bad. I like it. The little guys. We have 2 big guys and 2 little guys in the room with me now. Are Stephen Power Bottoms sitcom Ron Power Bottom Kane, and the power bottom of all time, G.D. Fenderson.
Good morning. Today is December 9th. Wash your bottom today. Matter of fact, power wash your bottom today. That's what? Don't look at me like that. You don't know what
Well,
power
no,
washing is?
you're stalking my posts and comments because I put something about butthole was trending and that stinks, and Christina said it's not gay if you wash it. So
Okay, no, I didn't get it from there. I actually
you
was
got it from
stalking
there.
Ron.
You're a joke thief. You
No,
steal
I'm a Ron
jokes from a
stalker.
non-joking, lizard-loving, Denmark-living.
I got to that by 3 degrees of separation. Ron wrote something about power bottoms, and I just ripped off what Ron wrote.
Ron's the power bottom.
I wasn't even paying
aficionado.
attention to what you wrote.
He's our chief power bottom correspondent.
Why would I pay attention to what you write?
I don't know.
Stupid.
Not what I wrote. It's what she wrote. She's a Denver.
I didn't pay attention to what she wrote either.
Now she's going to war. We're going to be at war with her. You know that because Denmark owns Greenland, and so when you are drafted to go fight for Greenland, you're gonna have to look at that sun coming through. Stabbing.
I know, man. It's horrible. I can't get it
Why don't
stopped.
you just go put it out?
Yeah, blow on it.
Now it looks like it's coming through the wall, not the window, which is kind of weird. But
It's a glitch of the Matrix. Hold on, let me just.
how come this has not been a thing with you before, but now today it's a thing?
Because my computer webcam faces a different direction, but my computer's broken now, so I'm on the iPad. Different angle.
And his iPad, he can't turn that to face a different direction. It's
Well,
stuck.
I can,
So
but
heavy. There you go. Oh wow, that's better. I mean, you still have that little line going through you, but it's better.
You could also slide it. You know, you have
I'm
to tilt it. You could
working-
also slide it. You know, you're like panning, and you could be trolleying.
listen,
See,
old
that's
guy,
perfect.
I'm not used
Why
to
were
analogs.
you reluctant
Yeah,
to go that
right
angle
there.
in the first place? Because you don't want to see what's going on behind that door hole that you have.
He doesn't want us to see what he does to the children when no one's watching.
Mhm.
And luckily, the Earth is curved, so in 20 minutes it'll be gone.
Who
It will
said-
be, yes.
Can you prove the Earth is curved?
In about 20 minutes or so, when
He's not wrong.
What makes you think I'm going to be alive for another 20 minutes? What you have no reason to believe that.
well, hey, if you die while we're doing this, we're just going to keep going. We'll just
Well, and that would be good for ratings.
yeah.
So let's hope that happens. Yeah. Anything going on that you guys are interested in the world, or is it just another shitty Thursday?
Well, that fire in California is raging still,
Right.
or fires, we
Right.
should say.
Yeah.
Now they're using this. Oh, this fucking just drives me crazy. They're using this to say, "See, Trump was right. They should have raked the leaves." It's not the leaves. I think there's an arsonist, right? Somebody said there was an arsonist.
I think you're supposed to drink bleach to make fires go away. That's what I've heard.
I thought it was Tide Pods, but whatever
Did
floats your
you
boat.
notice that when I said I think there's an arsonist, Stephen went.
Nobody
you know,
would ever suspect me in the Hollywood Hills.
Right, you light the fire and then you.
Have
I
you?
call it in the Jewish space lasers.
Here's some footage from a McDonald's yesterday.
Wow,
That's what my asshole looks like after I eat
they're
McDonald's.
taking they're kind of trying to be Burger King with the
Yeah,
flame
that's what I was gonna say. They're trying to char broil.
Yeah. All right. So your fries are not fried; they're singed. French
Crispy. They're extra crispy at this point.
Yeah, we shouldn't make jokes about people who burning up, dying in
We
hell.
didn't make a joke about somebody burning up and dying. We're
No.
joking about McDonald's. And
No, I just say
they
putting
serve-
it out there that we shouldn't make jokes about people.
I
dying.
agree. Well, but when it comes to McDonald's, they kill more people than wildfires do. So
We don't.
That's
know.
true.
Today's another day. We'll see what
You know what,
the
Steven?
fires do.
Fuck you. McDonald's was going to sign up as a sponsor today. They were just
Oh,
about to send a check.
sure.
For $13 million, and you fucking blew it.
I'm sure I did. Yep.
Yep. The first thing he blew for 18 million.
Dude, I usually do it for nothing. So
Much less.
Well, while you're at Ace Hardware, if you could pick me up an open-end wrench.
Yeah, that would be an open-end wrench. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was my
Well,
nickname
actually,
afterwards.
well, first you'd wrench and then open the end, but okay.
right. Yeah, so I'm not this we're taking over Greenland. Now the good thing, I don't know if I like the Scheinbaum lady, Mexico's president, because she gave Donald Trump, you name the Gulf Gulf of America. We're gonna name America Mexican America.
Oh, shots
See,
fired.
and that he doesn't like being beat up by women. But
You
if
know,
that,
No.
too, this like everything that's happening with Trump, this is really just foreshadowing he's just showing that he absolutely has nothing. He's got no plans or nothing because he's just
He has
grasping at
the
straws.
he has the concept of a plan.
right.
I think Canada would do well to have a female prime minister because it seems like it's the women leaders that have no problem with giving Trump shit like back
Oh,
to him.
Trump
It's
would get off being in a chick sandwich like that.
No, he wouldn't. That's just it. He does not like women of power. Like the president of
Oh,
Honduras.
that's true.
She said that she says if Trump starts deporting Hondurans, oh fine, we'll kick the military out of Honduras. They're not paying rent. They're here as our guests. They don't have to stay. We don't have to keep them.
Stephen's trying to commit arson, and every
Yeah.
time you interrupt him, he just starts choking.
So Canada, if you're listening, and I know you are because you're our number one demographic after people who don't like us, you get a female prime minister.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Canada's our number one. I think somewhere in like India, Taiwan is our number one demographic, where we get a lot of weird people from around the globe.
Yeah, but the people from India and Taiwan and over there, they're basically sending us invitations to buy more audiences.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
They're here just to sell, and we don't need to be solicited to.
Right. So Canada's our number one demographic that's not trying to sell us shit.
They are. They're trying to sell books. Well, not us. They're trying to sell it to the public. They use the show.
Well, that's different.
Right.
And that's what we're here for. We're here to help them help themselves.
How many books do you think we sell?
7 million.
I'm thinking upwards of. I think that's a very conservative estimate, Stephen.
Yeah.
Every time they're done the show, they actually see negative sales.
Yeah. People bring.
Oh
their
my
books
God! They
back.
returned 11 books after I was on there. What the
fuck?
And corrected, and they corrected them too. It's like
Now I'm just gonna put this out there. The other day, after the guest just left, but she was still in the back room, Ron made a comment about me sniffing panties, and immediately she wrote to me and said, "I heard that panty sniffing comment. I'd love to come back anytime you'll have me."
Andy Page said that?
No. Was that
the
Christy?
day
That was
before.
Christy Garnett, I think.
Oh, Christy Garnett. She
You're
was
welcome.
cool.
Yeah, no.
She
So
was
thank
cool.
you. Keep up the good panty sniffing work.
She was cool.
Apparently,
I'm going to use that in job interviews when I get my future job. Hey, I want to tell you, I'm on this show.
Yes.
yeah. Well, I could.
I'm a key contributor. I do the panty sniffing jokes.
All people are commenting on my dopey little painting thing last night. So I tried to. My guest didn't show up last night. He's in the wildfires, Eric G. And he wrote to me, I'm getting ready to evacuate my family. Sorry, I can't make you a little dopey little show.
Wow, what a fucking excuse. God, it's always
I know.
something.
The fire's been there for what, a week? He didn't, and he's just now evacuating them.
Well, you know what? A lot of people are, and I would probably be the same way. I'm not leaving. I'm not
Really
leaving.
tired
Holy
of the
shit! I got to
fucking
get out of here.
Son picking on me.
Yeah.
No, if I was by myself, I'd be like that. But if I had my family, or like some of these people have like wildlife, like horses and goats and shit. Yeah. First of all, I wouldn't be one of those people with horses and goats and shit. But if I was, I would have left already.
Yeah. So.
Or I would tie the goats out back and say, "Look, I'll be back when you're done."
People are piling on poor James Woods. Poor James Woods, because he's a a staunch Trumper, and
He's a conservative twat.
he's created a lot of hate for himself. But his house is burning down, and he claims he has no insurance. Now, doesn't that seem a little weird? A guy living in a Hollywood Hills, nice big mansion there, whatever, and he's got no homeowners.
No, it's not
That's
unusual.
It's probably the first thing he canceled was his insurance, because once he realized he wasn't going to get work ever again, he started, cutting down.
Homeowners insurance. I don't think you're allowed to.
There's a lot of people can't get homeowners insurance out there. As a matter of fact, they have I guess it's like a government subsidized insurance thing. It's kind of like if you can't get auto insurance, you can get auto insurance through the state. But it's a lot higher.
I didn't think you could get a mortgage without having insurance on it. Like
well, the house may be paid off.
Wow.
I'm saying he is James
his
Woods.
career. He. When was the last time he made a movie? Do you remember James Woods movie?
I think he made one called Cop.
Yeah,
that was like in 1981.
Phil Collins did the song for, right?
Oh, that one. Yeah, that was
but that was like 40 years ago.
Well, like I said, we don't know when he bought the house or whose money he bought it with, and
in the Hollywood Hills.
Yeah. So the thing is, they have the insurance companies are not backing a lot of these houses.
Yeah.
So they have to get insured through the state if they want insurance.
Well, when I had the house that I lost in the flood, we could not get flood insurance down there. They knew it was going to happen. It's like, why? But that again, that's just like, why would mortgage companies be down with this? They know you're going to lose the house and not be able to pay for it when disaster happens, and they know disaster is going to happen.
Well, but I said we don't know that his home isn't paid for already. That's why he may have had that option.
Well, maybe he paid it off, but he didn't buy it cash. We know that. I know that. He didn't.
Well, straight from Shitter is Rob Schneider, and his tweet was like, "Fuck you at State Farm. Screw you and all your phony commercials. You are a pile of crap for canceling insurance policies of Californians. I will never use State Farm insurance ever again. In parentheses, unless the contract is big enough. Thank you."
Oh. Yeah, and Adam Sandler gave me the okay. Mm-hmm. I hate to agree with Rob Schneider, but here I have problems with State Farm myself, auto insurance.
But I think you got to make that. It's a blanket statement. That's every insurance company.
Pretty much. It's pretty much of insurance. I didn't have a problem with Erie Insurance.
No. Not Uncle Al's Insurance out of Shoreham, New York. It's 46 Valentine Road. You can Uncle Al's Insurance Company, great insurance company. You can sign up. Go to minddogtv.com right now and send them an email. Ask for a quote, and they'll probably say,
"Your mother's a skank whore." Matt Napa.
That's right. Your mother's a skank whore. That's a good quote.
Yeah.
Now, is State Farm the ones that say they're the good hands people, or they're who's the good hands? Is that State Farm or Allstate?
No, Nationwide. No,
Nationwide is on your side. Like
good hands with Allstate. You're in good hands with Allstate, and you got a good.
State Farm is like a good neighbor. State Farm is there.
You're in good jaw with Uncle Al's insurance company. All right, that's the show for you, folks. I don't know what's happening with Pete Price. He thinks he's he thinks he's here. He's not here. I'm not.
How old is he?
Let me see if maybe I just send him a new.
He's been here before. He has
been.
He's a return. He's a return champion.
He clicked the link to the Gordon Liddy show, and he's like, I didn't know he was.
Could be. I get the reference there.
Yeah, Steven's like,
talk amongst yourself while I send them.
No idea what that means. No idea what that means at all.
You don't know who Gordon Liddy is?
He's a part of history. He is a part of history.
Yeah. He's another one of those people that went to jail for a president.
Yeah.
Oh.
Only he went to jail for Nixon.
Oh, it's before my time.
And he looked like Matt, except his mustache wasn't as pretty. Wow.
Yeah. He had a conservative talk radio show for quite some time.
Oh yeah, I forgot about his radio show. Oh, Pete is here. He's in the back. See this dopey lady.
See, and I can't scroll to see if anybody's underneath of Hefferon's head.
So I just sent Pete a new link, what he doesn't need to use.
Yeah, I see him there.
All right.
I can't see any fucking body.
You can't see me? How many hands am I holding? How many fingers am I holding up?
4.
Does it hurt?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
After this, Steve Gutenberg.
All right. Let me get to Pete Price's.
Wait a minute, that's the guy who wrote the Bible, right?
Go, that's Gutenberg. Close though.
I'm gonna have to fact check that.
Will somebody please put the goddamn sun out?
Will somebody please put curtains in their fucking window?
Why don't you just turn around and do it backward?
Listen, this box right here is a new curtain rod, okay? Because my dogs tore the curtains down too. The same day they broke the laptop.
Nobody cares. We can't just blur the fucking thing.
It won't let me. It won't let me use
you're on an
virtual
iPad.
backgrounds.
Well, it's not our fault.
I think this helps prove the point that Steven can walk, because he could easily just spin that chair around. But
Why spin that chair around?
If I spin the chair around, there's nowhere to set the iPad.
You turn me right round, baby, right round.
Actually, what's crazy is if I join the show on my phone, I can use virtual backgrounds.
What do you think Pete Price thinks about the term yacht rock?
I don't know, but
your
on my
not working there, Steven, because we didn't get on
my DirecTV guide, where where the music channels are in the 800s, they have a contemporary adult contemporary channel, and they have a yacht rock channel.
They still call it adult contemporary.
What is yacht rock though?
Yacht rock is described like the 70s, 80s. It's soft jazz, soft rock. It was adult contemporary, which is surprising to me that GD is still seeing adult contemporary listed in places, because people like adult contemporary. What is that?
Sounds.
Is that porn music for next week?
That's exactly what I was going to ask. Is that like background porn music and elevator music?
So yacht rock came out of, I think Christopher Cross got the ball rolling with sailing. And then they kind of like, is it Jimmy Buffett? But Steely Dan, Ambrosia, all this kind of stuff that middle-aged people who own yachts listen to.
See, that's what I don't get Steely Dan being called yacht rock. Okay. I mean, maybe one or two of the albums. I guess if you find like the right song from a group, that song could be a yacht rock song.
Then most of that, can't even hear a sailing or beach reference in any of their music. You know what would be Baker Street, that kind of la-di-da. Very good jazz players playing soft rock is what.
Hey 19, but then again, that's just about some old guy hitting on some young girl and
and Jose Cuervo, right? That's what it's really about, getting drunk on tequila. Oh no, Hey 19, I think, is that about a heroin?
No, it's a Hey 19. That's Aretha Franklin. You don't know the Queen of Soul. I think it's about an older guy, coming onto a younger girl, or a younger girl coming onto an older guy, and the guy's trying to explain to her why
wipe it off.
Their two worlds don't mesh, but he still wants to bang her.
Well, you should come across, coming on to whatever. I'm sorry.
We should probably get to our guest, huh?
I want to introduce Pete Price. Why you guys want to introduce Pete Price?
I don't know.
Returning champion.
I'm just thinking Pete Price should change his name to Pete Value.
Please welcome the creator of The Price is Right to the show.
Right. He should change his name to Pete Value, because people, if you have to ask about the price, you probably can't afford it. But people are more concerned with the value than the price. I'm sorry. Is that bad that I said that about our guest before he's even in the room? Pete Price is a singer-songwriter from Dayton, Ohio. He's been here before. He has 2 albums. Department of the Interior was released in 2022. I think that's when he was here, right? Maybe.
No, he had been here after that, because I wasn't here in 2022.
Me neither.
I think you were.
I wasn't.
Pictures in Time was released this year, which is last year, right?
I wasn't here for that one either.
This year is last year. Anyway, he's back here. The guy who hates yacht rock more than Rick Beato, Pete Price. Good morning, Pete.
How you guys doing?
All right, we're doing okay.
Man.
We're a little confused. It's Thursday. It's a new year. It's a sucky year, just like last year was. But How are you doing? Is the question.
I'm doing fine, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
What's new? Do you have? Are you working on new music? Are you releasing new music? What's new and why are you here? What are you doing here?
I got to defend myself.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, been working on getting pictures in time out in the general public and getting people to listen to it, and doing lots of performing, and it's just supporting the album at this point. I'm not really writing anything new at this point, just doing more performance and promotion and stuff like that.
All right. So
Now,
you
at this point, we usually ask authors, is there going to be an audio book?
authors.
But since you already have an audio version out there, is there going to be a printed version for people who don't want to
You're writing a
listen? They
book
can
to
just
go along with
read.
the album.
Yeah, are you writing a book to go along with the album?
Well, the album does kind of tell a story, but I don't think there's going to be a book deal involved.
Yeah, we are over authored. We have author overload around here. It's just like authors content. We have another author coming on today, so I shouldn't say anything bad about authors, but I can't help myself. I'm just insulting all our guests.
It's like Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips back in the day. They
Now,
were good.
Pete, I got to ask you, genre-wise, when people ask you about your music, do you get offended if somebody says you're Americana or folk rock or any of that? Do you get offended by people lumping you into a genre?
Maybe a little offended by yacht rock, but
Well, you would be? Why? What would yacht rock? What would be offensive about yacht rock?
Kenny
I don't know.
Loggins.
I'm just trying to
Oh,
pull the chain a little bit, but
okay.
some of my songs do have a little bit of a jazzy type element. There are a couple songs actually one song on Pictures in Time that has kind of that element in there that I wrote about my wife, and so I could be accused of yacht rock at a time or two.
Okay. See, I just did 2 different videos on this whole yacht rock thing because HBO Max has a video of movie out, a documentary about yacht rock, and a lot of the people included in the genre, Toto, Steely Dan, they're not happy about it, and
Yeah, I bet not. Yeah.
yeah,
Little River Band, I think, exemplifies yacht rock.
there you go. That's a good one. I don't think they're considered in the genre. That would be good. I should see that.
They're not even in the movie, though, are they? They're not even in the documentary because nobody remembers Little River Band until Pete brings it up.
Yeah, it's a very it's not really easily definable. Like who's in there, it depends on who you talk to. Like so I never thought Steely Dan was actually included in that, but then they are. But I don't get being angry about it because here's the thing. You just talked about, trying to get people to listen to and find your music and all that stuff. If somebody's going to make it easy, especially for new people who weren't around when it was first released, to find your music and become fans of it, isn't that a good thing?
I think if you, now this is just coming from somebody who's never made it famous, never had my songs played beyond, but
Beyond them, this show.
but I think if you have, if you're attached to your music and it means something to you, and someone else tries to label it to something that you do not want it, I mean, yeah, play my music. Just don't label it. Just play it. Enjoy it. Just don't fucking label it because you're trying to tell me who I am.
Right. And then when you're at the bank cashing a check,
I will still bitch about it. And I will still bitch about it. And first of all, if I was at the bank cashing a check from one of my songs or something, I'd be in shock. They'd be like defibrillating me right there in the lobby.
Yeah. So, Pete, do you get inundated by requests from Spotify promoted? I do, even though I haven't published anything in like 3 years now. People will get you 30,000 listens in one day. I get it every single day. I get tons of emails. Are you inundated by that stuff?
I'm not inundated, but I get a few here and there. Maybe they haven't found me yet.
Do you have a strategy in because there are so many people putting out music and on these streaming services that it's really difficult to find stuff you like. I mean, the discovery phase, by the time you discover it, yeah, I'm not in the mood for music anymore. I got to go to work. It's really difficult. So, do
Yeah,
you have a
yeah.
strategy for helping yourself get found by people who are searching for new music to listen to?
I've tried a few different things, but the most effective has been just having a promoter and allowing him to handle that because he knows the ins and outs of Spotify and the streaming services much better than I do. So I
Uh,
just use my promoter to get me on the playlists.
that's Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
He,
he's really good.
he seems really good, but I know I'm not Michael Stover, by the way, MTS Records. Really good at getting people played in places that are not New York, Long Island, New York. They are distant lands, but that's fine. I mean, as long as they're interested, I guess you don't care where your fans are coming from. But it's surprising to me how that works because so many people that he works with have huge numbers in South Africa, Australia, whatever, Brazil, but not in Long Island, New York. It do you know how that works or have any understanding of that?
I really don't. I've looked at the end of the year algorithm at Spotify, and most of my listens streams come from the United States.
Wow,
But
good for you.
yeah, but a lot of I get a lot of streams from Europe in the different countries, the UK and France and Portugal. It seems lately on the second album. Now there aren't that many people in Portugal, but it's something.
Ah,
The 18.
18
There are
people.
18 people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
There were 20, but two of them actually they're working on a cruise ship right now, so they're not in Portugal.
I haven't checked. I should check this out right now.
So
PeteBrideMusic.com is where people can go to find out more about you. Now, do you when you are I don't know if how you even approach your social media outreach or how you do you do any promotion on it your own or you just leave it all up to Michael?
No, I do some promotion on my own. Usually, what I'll do is, if there's an album that or article that comes out about my album or about one of my songs, I'll promote that on social media. Also, upcoming concerts, I'll put that up there, and I'll try to keep awareness going as far as where I'm going to be and what I'm doing and stuff like that. But it's it's a lot of work, and to have a life outside of music is also pretty desirable for me. So I'll go hot and cold on it. I'll work real hard on it for a couple of weeks, and then I'll put it down for a while and go and do something else that's important in my life, like make my wife happy or
Yeah.
something like
now,
that.
now, I'm
Yeah, I
glad you
never.
brought that up because you mentioned that you wrote a song for your wife. Or now is it for your wife? Like did you write it for her? Like, okay, I'm writing you a song. Shut up. Or did you write it for her? Like, you inspire me, so I'm writing you this song.
It was a song that kind of told a story about us and how we met, and it's called Second Chance. And both of us were married before, but that didn't work out very well for either of us. And then we met when we were in our 40s and fell in love. And it's a song that kind of muses about if we had met when we were like 18 to 20, would we still be together today because we were such different people? And so the payoff of the song is that we're just grateful to be together now.
Now,
Okay,
my wife says the
congratulations.
same thing to me that if we had met when I was younger, she wouldn't have liked me because she says that I think you were too arrogant as
I
a
think
teenager.
anybody who meets you at any point in time
Well,
wouldn't like you.
yeah, but I maintained them since my wife and I got together when I was in my 40s that um, she didn't get the best sex that I was able to give throughout my life, because that was back when I was in my 20s and 30s. And I would have to like maybe call an ex-girlfriend, someone I dated in my 20s and 30s, and say, hey, look, no, tell my wife how good I used to be,
I don't know. Steven, how is he at sex now?
I would honestly, he's very unpersonable. He doesn't like to look you in the eyes during. And the last time he told me to put a flag over my head so he could say he was doing it for his country. No homo.
You think if you would have met him earlier in life, it would have been better?
Yeah.
All right. Steve, Pete, the Fries Band at Miami Valley Gaming in Monroe, the Fries Band. I thought you were basically a solo performer. Is this a band you've been with for a while?
Oh yeah, I've been with the Fries for over 30 years.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I play lead guitar for the Fries, and then my solo stuff is more acoustic Americana stuff, and the Fries band is a cover band, and we're very popular in the Southern Ohio area, and it's actually a lot of fun to play with those guys. We've known each other for a long time, and I just want to keep that going.
Wow. Very cool. Cover what kind of what's the band is popular, or is it classic rock? Is it popular today? What do you got?
It's mostly classic rock, anywhere from Beatles through the Eagles, Crosby, Stills and Nash, Steely Dan.
So yeah, rock. Because
Yeah.
Crosby, Stills and Nash and Steely Dan are both in that, and I didn't know this until I did the videos on it, but it doesn't matter. People the audience, older people, or you see, or are there younger people in the audience?
There's a blend. We've always appealed to people from like 8 to 80. So if people like, that kind of music, which most people do, I mean, most people love the Beatles and bands.
It also
like
depends on which phase of the Beatles, because the Beatles went through several phases. So it also depends
What's
on which.
the Beatles?
Yeah, see, Steven is he's just still recovering from GD raping him last night.
Oh my God! You can't rape the willing.
I know.
I'm just saying. So when you cover the Beatles, is it like from the early stuff like Help and Meet the Beatles,
Yeah.
or is it like later stuff like the Off-White album, the 50 Shades of White album? How do you what genre? What
Actually, we cover sort of their whole catalog. We don't really play all their songs, but we do Magical Mystery Tour and The End, and songs like that are.
Yeah, it's only people like GD who kind of differentiate there.
No, it's not only people like me. As a matter of fact, I didn't even give a shit until someone else had mentioned it on a blog somewhere.
Oh.
Because to me, music is music. That's why I don't even know the names of some of the bands I like. I don't even know some of the names of the people who perform in them, because I like the music. I don't care about the personalities.
The people who love the Beatles love all their work. The people who hate the Beatles, and there are a few Beatle haters, hate all.
I guess I don't love the Beatles, and I guess I just like some of their.
I'm just indifferent to them because I only know the Animal.
So now, Pete, from that experience playing with this cover stuff, do you take any of those influences and incorporate that into what you do? Because it doesn't seem like any of that. You didn't mention any of it, Americana type of or folk rock or any of that kind of stuff. From the stuff that you play with the band, is there any influence in your music from that?
I'm influenced more by like singer-songwriters. I was heavily influenced by Bob Dylan, Dan Fogelberg, Jackson Brown, James Taylor, Neil Young, people like that. Those are my influences. And then, as far as blues and rock and stuff, the Allman Brothers were a huge influence for me. And,
me too.
I try to play their stuff all the time, guitar wise, and it's a lot of fun, man. It's a big challenge, but it's a lot of fun.
Are you a slide player?
No, I'm not.
No. Yeah, I like the Allman Brothers a lot too. But if I had a chance to play with an Allman Brothers bag, I would always take the Dickie Betts parts.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
See,
yeah, a
I
lot
don't
of
know
those
who the
guys you
people are,
mentioned.
and I don't know who the people are in the Allman Brothers brand, except for I know there's a Greg Allman and there's an
Right.
Allman Joy, and those are the only two that I know about in the band.
They
And Cher.
they had a band called the Almond Joys for a while, and then I think they just settled on the Allman Brothers.
Well, Greg Koch, who's one of the greatest guitar players who ever lived, but he's like a giant of a man with these giant old hands. He's playing with the uh, he's playing with the Allman Brothers reboot, because it's Dwayne's and Greg's kids or something, or now carrying on the legacy. Good stuff. What'd that say about Almond Brothers, Almond Joy? What is
Ian, you silly bitch.
Allman Brothers are great, but I prefer the Cashew Twins.
Who said that? Didn't say who.
Ian,
Figures.
Evil too.
He's a silly bitch.
Yeah. The people you mentioned there, though, some of those people in my heroes: Bob Dylan, Jackson Browne, James Taylor. Love those guys. But you mentioned Bob Dylan. Have you seen the Nowhere? What's it? No Direction
Nowhere
Home?
Man.
No Direction Home.
A Complete Unknown, I think it's
Complete
called.
Unknown. That's right.
That's
Nowhere,
right.
Nowhere Man. Was
Yeah,
great.
it was one of those lyrics.
Yeah, right.
Like a Rolling
Howdy, Bill.
Stone, but, yeah, I've seen it. I thought it was really good, and what I really liked about it was the fact that they just took it to the point where we went electric, which was really the best part of his story, I think. And when you watch one of those kinds of films where it's about a performer who is striving to make it and stuff, always the best part of the story is the climb up.
Yeah.
Usually in the end, after they've made it, it devolves into got addicted to drugs and steady decline with relationships and stuff. So this was really good the way they did
Like
that.
that Johnny Cash story. It tended to be about him just being a total burnout, cokehead, drunk, whatever, breaking up his marriage, all that kind of stuff. But this is interesting because the Dylan going electric thing, and just the period before that. Now, Dylan, when he first came up, he was a big fan of Woody Guthrie, and Woody Guthrie kind of mentored him a little bit. And then at the same time, Ramblin' Jack Elliott was also a big Woody Guthrie fan.
Mhm.
And Dylan, Ramblin' Jack was kind of envious. People were telling Ramblin' Jack that Dylan was stealing his bag. He's doing your thing. And then, 'cause this is interesting to me anyway, Dylan was kind of oblivious to that. Ramblin' Jack thought, he's eating my lunch. A couple of years later, or 5 years later, Neil Young comes along with Heart of Gold, and now Dylan is acting like he's doing me on the radio. I don't know if they even. I think there's some mention of that in the movie. I haven't seen the movie yet, but
And see, now I when I listen to the Heart of Gold, I don't hear Dylan. I just hear something I don't like.
Right. Basically, the harmonica stuff and all that is like all acoustic music.
Oh, there was no harmonica before Dylan?
Nobody played. No, nobody did the brace
Harmonica holder.
harmonica thing. Playing guitar and harmonica at the same time wasn't like a big thing, especially in popular music. So, but it's just interesting how it all came full circle on him. Now this guy's stealing my lunch. It's like, you know what? People are going to do what. There's always going to be a new kid on the block. Yeah. So do those guys influence your writing? Jackson Browne, James Taylor, those people?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly my inclination is to go toward having the lyrics mean something. So if you listen to the lyrics in my song, hopefully you get something out of that too, rather than, just a beat and, a melody line. So, those are, probably more important in the long run as far as whether people are going to listen to and accept your music. I mean, it's got to have a good beat. It's got to have a good melody. But
do you start with the lyrics? Are you a lyrics first guy, or do you start with a melody, or a mixed bag of things?
yeah, kind of a mixed bag. I come at it both ways. Sometimes I'll just find I'll be noodling around on the guitar and I'll find something that kind of clicks with me, and then I'll just work from there with the lyrics. But
Yeah.
I'm always like archiving lyrics and lines to things that could be used in a potential song. Like I'm always collecting those things and have a whole folder full of stuff.
Wow.
Now, do you have a song in your head that you know that you'd like to write, but you actually aren't technically good enough to perform what you hear in your head?
Good question.
Thank you. I'm glad you said that because Matt is staring at me like a dog trying to figure out which ear the walnut should be rolling
Right. Yeah.
to.
Is that the ball? Which way did the ball go? What happens to the ball?
Okay, so I'm sorry, Pete. Go ahead.
Um, sometimes I do, but usually it's the stuff that I write. I feel is accessible to me as far as a musician, um, because it comes from me, sitting around with the guitar and trying to play it that way. There are certain things, beat wise and stuff that uh, I don't really have the skill to put together. Like, a lot of people use electronics now for, setting a groove and that sort of thing. And I just haven't gotten to that point technically. I think I'm a dinosaur when it comes to technology. So,
This is an interesting comment here from Foul Mouth Teacher. James Taylor's Fire and Rain always lets you know somebody's about to die in a movie. I've never heard Fire and Rain being used in a movie. I have, and people request that in restaurant gigs and stuff, and it's like, that's kind of a downer. We're not here to depress people. It's a pretty depressing song. Yeah, the technical stuff. When it comes to lead guitar playing now, I'm assuming you're all electric when you're playing lead guitar with the Fries band, right?
yeah, but I do play leads on my acoustic as well.
Oh, well, you know what? Was it Rhett Shull just did a whole video on with another guy about the difference between soloing playing solos on an acoustic guitar versus electric guitar. Very interesting video. I'll probably share that in the link later on in the description later on. But it's something. Do you have a different approach with playing lead guitar? Do you approach it as a different instrument when you acoustic versus electric?
Well, when you're playing on an electric, you've got a lot more sustain.
Right.
So, you're able to play less notes and have more impact
Right.
with an electric guitar. When you're playing an acoustic, you have to use a lot more vibrato, so your technique is a lot different. And to get the note to sustain. So yeah, there is a different approach, and I probably am a little bit busier, meaning I play more notes when I'm playing a lead on an acoustic
I
versus
agree. I totally agree. And they were talking about you finding every opportunity you could to incorporate an open string, which I think makes a lot of sense because that ringing out definitely it's part of the acoustic sound. So, but yeah, I agree with you. I tend to play a lot busier on an acoustic just because it's just not sustaining it the way an electric would, and it's just not. You don't feel it. You can't hold one note for an hour.
right.
Um, yeah, but on the technical stuff, do you because there was and this probably still is this whole shredder nonsense where you just on electric guitar when you're playing lead, just to uh, speed and not really there's no storytelling behind a solo or any of that stuff. It's just like throw in every bit of technique you've ever learned, tapping and alternate picking and sweep picking, and just blow them away with just nonsense of every note on the planet. Do you worry about any of that, like keeping the technique up to impress people, or have you? Because George Harrison used to say, I stopped worrying about dexterity and all that kind of runs and all that stuff, and just look for the tasty notes. Is there a middle ground for you, or do you kind of? I'm talking about basically not just playing with the cover band, but incorporating lead stuff in your own music. Do you care at all about this whole, just throw the kitchen sink at them from a lead solo?
Probably when I'm playing live, I have a tendency to go more toward, finding some licks that, work with the song and trying to work those in. But when I'm recording, I don't even think about stuff like that.
Yeah. So what kind of rig do you use when you're playing electric? Do you what's your rig?
Well, I have a Les Paul that I use, and then I also have
The new Trump guitar, Trump Les Paul that's out there. I'm sorry.
no, it's an old one. It's an old one.
There's the Trump Les Paul, by the way.
Oh my God, he's got a Les Paul too.
Yeah. Well, he's not calling it a Les Paul. It's a Les Paul. It looks like a Les Paul. It's the exact same design as a Les Paul. It's a Make America Great Again guitars. $1,500. It's like
Probably made in China.
it probably is. It's like I was just gonna say it's like a Chipson or like a Epiphone, but not the top of the line Epiphone. It's probably worth about $400, but they're retailing for $1,500. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
you were talking about your rig. You talked about Les Paul, and I couldn't help but think about that Trump guitar that's in my head. I'm sorry. Continue.
Yeah, I've got a Digitech multi effects processor that I have gotten some really nice tones out of, and then I just use a Fender Twin amp, and that's about it.
Do you wah?
Yeah, there are things that settings that you can use on that Digitech where you can wah, but I don't use it very often at all.
Yeah. And are you a guy who because I never get because I'm an old school guy. When I go to play gigs, especially cover bands, I bring one guitar. I mean, I'll bring a second guitar just in case something breaks and I need to really. But I'm a guy who's going to play one electric guitar for the full gig. And now I see guys in my circuit here who will bring 20 guitars and change guitars like for each song. Are you a guy who more like me who's just going to play one guitar throughout the whole gig?
Well, electric and acoustic, I'll bring one of each.
Right.
And sometimes when I also play in a duo, and sometimes I'll bring a guitar that is tuned a half a step down, and that way I don't have to switch tunings from here and there, and I got a little bit more flexibility during the set because all I play is acoustic guitar when I play in the duo.
Right.
So that's all I do.
From the writing perspective, have you experimented with a lot of different tunings, open tunings, and those kind of things? I find like a lot more people are doing that. To me, that confuses the hell out of me because I'm a cerebral type of guy, and I approach it from learning the neck in standard tuning, and then when it becomes open tuning, I'm always thinking about what chord this is rather than just like listening for sounds. Do you experiment with that kind of stuff, the open tunings and in writing? I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do. I really like the tuning that Crosby, Stills and Nash used a lot, and so I've written a song on my first album was written in that tuning. Everything on the second album was written in standard tuning, but I like to play around with it. It's fun. It gives you just a different sound in your guitar. I think the droning, like you were talking about playing open strings on an acoustic, and it gives you an opportunity to have a lot of open strings that are sounding in the chords.
Yeah, I like it. It's just I feel really limited because I'm trying to figure out, again, I'm really cerebral about it and trying to figure out what's going to work rather than just listen for what's and feel it and say, oh well, that sounds good. It doesn't matter, like if I'm staying true to necessarily a key structure or any of that kind of stuff, because you really have to be freestyling when if you're not thinking about it and you just don't go with an open tuning that you know it's just not part of what you learned or how you learn coming up. It's just interesting stuff. Anything on the album that is written with open tuning on the latest album?
Not on the latest album. On the first album, there's a song called "One More Time." That's Department of the Interior. That was written in that open tuning that Crosby, Stills and Nash uses. But the second album, I just kind of stayed in standard tuning.
Um, Now, do you do CDs?
Yeah, I still do CDs.
Really?
It's nice to have on the bandstand. You know,
Yeah.
there's still people that have like I have an old car that I don't want to get rid of because it has a CD player.
I thought you were gonna say 8-track player. I, well, you know what? I like that too. I don't have a CD player in my house, but I still do CDs. But the you know, it's good. Appreciate everything that technology has given us, CDs up to MP3s and streaming and all that stuff. But I do miss, and I noticed on your site that you have lyric videos. I do miss the albums that you used to get where you could read the album. Sometimes lyrics would be included in the albums and all that. When I started doing solo acoustic shows, I would print up my original music, my lyrics, and bring that and leap and put little booklets on every table in like a coffee house or a restaurant or something with the original lyrics. People really responded to that. I think
Well,
a
that's
lot of
great.
people,
Yeah.
yeah. When you put out the CDs, do you include lyrics or a booklet with it or any of that?
Usually no, because CDs are kind of you don't make money
Yeah, I know.
putting out CDs, and the more information that you add, the more it costs.
Yep.
So what I've done is I just put the lyrics on my website, and so if people are really interested, they can go to my website and they can look up the lyrics to the different songs, and also those lyric videos are really nice because it's sort of like following the bouncing ball.
Right. No, I love that. But here's another thing. I didn't. You could use this or not. But here's something I do. When they ordered the CD online, they get a link to download a PDF with all the lyrics on it for free, and put just and so that doesn't cost any more. It doesn't come packaged with the CD. If you want it, you can download it for free. So almost everybody takes you up on it. At being a lyrics person, I think it's really important that people get the lyrics right, because the worst thing is where you're a lyrics person and then you find out people are just singing the wrong lyrics to your songs. That's not fun. Now, do you do more of the performing in the acoustic thing, acoustic setup that you have than the actual full band, or how often are you doing that?
Usually in the cold weather months, I'm doing a lot more like acoustic solo and duo performances. And then in the summer months, the Fries Band, that's when we're busy. We play a lot of like outdoor festivals
Yeah.
and that sort of thing. And so, we just started picking up these casino gigs this fall. And so we'll probably be playing, I guess, throughout the year. But really, the Fries Band is more of a summer band, and then the rest of the year I work on my solo stuff and work in the duo. I try to play my originals a lot more because that's really what I'm about.
Right. Good stuff. You know what? I get where you're coming from. It seems like as I got older, the outdoor gigs in the summertime for the band were the preferred, because you know what? Older people are not going to rock clubs. They if and so we it became it transitioned from being a club thing to a restaurant thing, and then waiting for the summer and playing the outdoor festivals, the beach places out here. I'm sure you don't have a whole lot of beaches in Dayton, Ohio, but a lot of more of those gigs, and those are fun. I enjoy playing outdoors. Sound is different outdoors. Getting because there's a whole when we're indoors, there's a whole the sound is contained. If you're outdoors on a big stage, the sound is going everywhere. It's different. It's a different experience feel wise, but I still love it. I mean, there's nothing that compares to that.
You know, and if you're playing in a club or something like that, you might be playing to 200 or 300 people. But if you're playing outdoors, I mean, you're playing to thousands of people,
Yeah,
which is amazing. You know, you look out over that crowd and you see 5,000 people out there, and it's like, oh boy, this is big time.
yeah. Something just happened to me. I don't know. I got a audio thing, and then my
You became enlightened.
camera went weird.
That happened
Anyway,
to Buddha too.
you did it, didn't you? Do it. You're pushing buttons again, aren't you?
Nope.
Hmm.
My hands are beneath my desk.
Steven, can you verify that his hands are beneath the desk?
I cannot.
Your desk? Is it beneath your desk, aren't they?
Absolutely not.
All right. Whoa. Anyway, so now with the performing stuff, are you a trained singer, or did you teach yourself to sing?
I guess I taught myself to sing. I started when I was really young, singing in church choir. And so I did have some instruction from the choir master, and learned how to, sight read music, which I've, almost completely forgotten by now because I basically sing by ear. And, but like the Fry's band is a band where we do 4 and 5 part harmony. So, I kind of taught myself how to sing harmony over the years. And I just think that's so much fun
Yeah,
to
so do I. I
Now,
agree.
when you were younger, and you first started singing, were you imitating other vocalists? And when did you find your own voice?
uh well I guess when I first started playing the guitar and singing, I sort of emulated Bob Dylan a little bit because he had that kind of raspy, whiny voice, and it made his songs sound a lot better because I learned a lot of Dylan songs when I was a kid because on the guitar that was pretty accessible for me.
I'm going to say something that is somebody's going to be angry by this. A lot of people think Bob Dylan is a bad singer. I think he's a very good singer. He's just a stylist, and his style is not something that people are used to. But if you pay attention to what he's doing, it's not. First of all, it's not easy. Not anybody can do it, and a lot of people who are really good singers have emulated his style, or started by emulating his stylistic. I know many people think, "Oh, I just can't listen to his voice." The same thing with like Neil Young too, but I think and Springsteen is characterized as that. I think a
Who's
lot of these guys. Who?
who's Bob Dylan?
Uh,
Okay, so Pete, when did you find your voice then? If you started out imitating Dylan, where at one point did you go like, okay, this
just
is
before,
me,
while
my
he was
voice?
in the back, in the green room, waiting to come on.
I just sing the way I sing. I'm not really sure that I ever really found my voice. And the voice is something that seems to change every day. It's just such a dynamic instrument. I mean, my range changes almost daily. I basically sound the same, but to me, it just feels different when I sing some days as opposed to others.
That's interesting. Um, I feel like I am starting to get the hang of singing at 65, but there's a lot. I don't think my range changes uh, day to day, or even month to month, or year to year. I think it's actually improving, which is not normal for.
Hmm. Hmm.
But what about your ears? Are
Um,
they? I mean, especially playing with a band for all those years, I suffer from really bad tinnitus, however you want to say that word.
I'm just
Yeah.
getting weird hairs in my ears now that I'm getting older.
It's not going to get any better.
Damn
Yeah.
it.
You
Do
know,
you
Steve, if
do
you
you
take
They
suffer,
those,
don't
Pete?
fall out.
Do you deal with the ringing in the ears after gigs?
Yeah, I've got tinnitus as well, and you know, I also ran a construction company for my entire career, and worked with power tools and drills and hammers and stuff like that. And so, you know, I probably have some hearing loss. I haven't really noticed it as much playing music, but you know, maybe I'll be the last to know. You know,
Yeah,
somebody will come up to me and say, "Man, you're just way off
yeah.
key today," or something. And you know,
People are
that's
always surprised. I was playing a gig last weekend, and the facility manager kept coming up and saying, and I was like, I don't even what you. And then at the end of the gig, I said, "You have to scream at me. I'm deaf." She said, "You're deaf? How do you play music?" I don't know. I remember. It's muscle
yeah.
memory. Yeah, interesting stuff.
Yeah.
So the latest album is out now. What about recording process? Do you do demos at home and then take it to a professional studio? What's that like?
Well, this time I recorded it in my basement.
Wow.
Um, I built a sound booth down there for recording vocals and for acoustic instruments, and then we did take the drums and we recorded those in a studio because you know trying to get the acoustics right on drums in a basement is just it was just going to be too much work. So we just
Anywhere.
decided
Yeah.
we took that to a studio, recorded the drums, you know, recorded electric guitars and bass and stuff, just plugged in and sitting there in the room that we used for the recording. And my sound engineer, a guy named Jeff Tutt, uh, he just brought his system over every day and set it up, and he uses the Steinberg software,
Wow.
and it it worked great. I mean, I'm really happy with how the whole album turned out from a technical standpoint.
Wow. Good. Good. And you know what? I very interested in the recording process. I'm collaborating with a guy now who he's got some new music. He works with Logic Pro, and I have Logic Pro, and we go back and forth. But I was interested. I said, "Do you still ever work with like tape?" And he said, "Yeah, I have an old DA88, which is TAC 8-track machine, Tascam 8-track machine." He said, "But I have a tape I want to play it and transfer to digital, but I can only do it once because the tape's gonna fall apart when we play it." I was like, "Well, we got to set up a video camera for this because there is a technophile audience on YouTube that would wet their pants over old time equipment like that." Do you ever dabble with tape and those things? Because I think there's some. I like the process of punching in and punching out and being limited to that. I think it makes you a better player producer if you can think in the old format of we'll do this as a band, everybody in the same room, roll the tape at the same time, we'll get the isolation. Do you do any of that, or is it a very static digital process only for you now?
I used to do it that way, and we had a Tascam 8-track
Right.
that we used for that. And you know, I'm very familiar with punching in and punching out, and you know, it's a fun way to record. There's a lot more pressure because you know
Yes.
you know not only do you have to manage the machine, but you know then you've got to be coming in on time and stuff like that. And
You got to
so
get it right when you punch in and not break everything and have to start all over again.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's crucial. Yeah, no, and listening to Steve Lucas talk with Rick Beato because he's done a billion sessions starting back when it was all tape
oh
and
yeah,
into the digital age, and he talks about the difference. But I do think that mindset of the way we produce things in analog. made for a warmer, and I'm not talking about the tape sound and that whole debate about what sounds better, digital, analog. Just the atmosphere of having the human element more involved, and not having that. We have unlimited tracks, so we can put in one piece at a time. I think that kind of makes for a very stale performance. All those guys you mentioned as your influences, they never had that. It was all performance. We're
Right.
capturing a performance rather than creating a masterpiece, one element at a time. So
But
anyway.
still, I like to, have things down enough where if I had to go out and play it live before I even recorded it, I could do that. Like I want to have that material mastered so that I'm not doing a whole bunch of takes, because it just seems like if you continue to screw up a take, one after another, the pressure just builds and
I agree.
it becomes no fun.
Yeah. I'm going to let you go because we're over time, but I want to ask you this question about, because before I ask you about being lyrics first, John Mayer, who was, very egotistical about his own capabilities, but a great player and good
Yeah.
songwriter nonetheless. He talked about when he's writing a song now, he wants it all to come at once. In other words, the playing and the singing and the words should all come out at once, rather than I got this cool guitar part, now I got to put some lyrics to it. And I thought that's a cool approach, but he talks it because he's an egomaniac. Because I'm doing it this way, this is the rule. Everybody needs to write this way. But does that process ever happen to you, where you sit down with a guitar and the entire song comes at once, or generally is it one piece at a time?
It probably happens about half the time, where all of a sudden this song is just there, and 2 hours later you've got, the chord progression, the lyrics, and you just sit down at the kitchen table and with your cell phone and you record it,
Uh,
and a pen and paper, and so you write it down so you know the lyrics and stuff. But yeah, I mean, songs come to me like that fairly frequently.
do you write anything that is like complicated, like hit? And when I say complicated, I'm not like talking about like jazz, like in strange time signatures and all that, but the fact that sometimes the picking and playing part is counter to the vocal part, which I think that's what he was talking about. Is really when he's like, it's like something like Neon, which is a really difficult guitar part. It's hard to even talk over that. Never mind sing the melody and all that stuff. Do you write stuff that is a challenge from that point of the counter the playing and vocal parts not matching up or syncing up?
Yeah, there's the second song on Pictures in Time is written that way. Uh, and it's called The Balance. And I came up with the basically the chord progression first, and it's basically like a two-note slide down the neck, and then it works around from there. But yeah, it took me a while to be able to sing that while playing the guitar at the same time. So
Yeah, I mean, there are things and so when you write something like that, the challenge of having it come out all at once, in complicated parts that are counterintuitive to the vocal part, that's where it gets interesting for me.
yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
yeah. And
Uh,
there's another song, the final song on Pictures in Time. It's called The Road Ahead, and I wrote that kind of like an homage to the Allman Brothers, and it's like three different parts, so three different uh, tempos, and it's a pretty cool song. I was very proud of that one.
you know what? You mentioned the Allman Brothers a couple of times here. I hear Billy Bob Thornton. Is that his name? Yeah, but he's doing an interview with Dan Rather. Now, Dan Rather, 60 Minutes Dan Rather, that I grew up with, was a news guy. He's become like a Rolling Stone type of music journalist now in his old age, and he's interviewing all these classic rock people and talking about that. But almost all of them talking about the influence of the Allman Brothers. Billy Bob Thornton was all over that. Like, and
Yeah.
so I think people. Maybe we don't give enough credit to the Allman Brothers for being as influential to the music that's out there today. That it influenced so many great players. So it's just interesting. Anyway, we do have to move on. PetePriceMusic.com. Pete, thanks for being here. And
Hey, Matt, thanks for having me on.
yeah, it's our pleasure. And come back anytime. And we'll try to bump this up. I'll put the links to your Spotify stuff on minddogtv.com and see if we can get some action on your music. So thanks for being here.
I appreciate that. Nice to meet everybody.
All right, bye for now.
Nice to meet you, buddy.
Pete Price. Now,
Ooh,
GD's stealing my
GD.
spot. You saw it. GD's just pushing buttons. He claims he's not pushing buttons, but he's
Fucking disrespectful, GD.
right. Pete Price Music. We are awaiting Dr. Chinaka. Is that
Whoa,
Chinaka?
watch your mouth. You can't
I know.
say that.
It's easy for me to say. Chinaka. Chewbacca. Oh, look, Steven's got his fireworks back. I guess he put the sun out. Anyway, let's listen to some news. Carl's here. Carl is in the, he's calling himself Joseph Eckerson in the news, but we know it's Carl.
President-elect Donald Trump suggested renaming the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America during a wide-ranging news conference held at Mar-a-Lago.
Trump also criticized President Biden's final actions before leaving office and outlined his ambitions to acquire Greenland and the Panama Canal, even hinting at potential military action to secure what he described as vital for U.S. economic and national security. While discussing these goals, Trump proposed the idea of renaming the Gulf of Mexico as part of his broader vision. Lawrence Keller reporting.
French health officials have confirmed the country's first case of a dangerous new strain of the Mpox virus, which has caused significant outbreaks in Central Africa.
Authorities reported that the patient had no travel history to the affected region and was identified through contact tracing. The new strain, known as Clade 1b, has raised concerns because of its rapid transmission and resistance to existing diagnostics. Health officials noted that cases of the Mpox Clade 1b strain have also been detected in Belgium, Britain, Germany, and Sweden. Benjamin Wright reporting.
North Korea announced it has successfully test-fired a new intermediate-range hypersonic ballistic missile, claiming the weapon is designed to reliably contain any rivals in the Pacific region.
According to the state-run Korean Central News Agency, the missile was launched on Monday and traveled approximately 930 miles at 12 times the speed of sound. The missile's hypersonic glide vehicle reportedly reached a first peak altitude of 61 miles and a second peak of 26 miles. The report added. Joseph Eckerson reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
In a move expected to impact millions of Americans, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau has finalized a rule to remove medical debt from consumer credit reports.
The CFPB said the new rule would eliminate around $49 billion in unpaid medical bills credit reports, benefiting approximately 15 million Americans. The agency estimated that the change could increase credit scores by an average of 20 points, enabling borrowers to qualify for mortgages and other financial products. Liam White reporting.
Federal prosecutors revealed in a new court filing that the FBI has uncovered additional criminal conduct involving New York City Mayor Eric Adams.
Adams, who has pleaded not guilty to a 5-count indictment, is accused of accepting luxury travel in exchange for political favors. These favors allegedly included influencing the fire department to approve the opening of a new Turkish consulate in Manhattan, despite inspectors raising ongoing safety concerns. Kyle Norris reporting.
Facebook plans to replace its current fact-checking system with community notes, a change that Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg said reflects the company's commitment to free expression.
We're replacing fact checkers with community notes, simplifying our policies, and focusing on reducing mistakes, Zuckerberg announced on Tuesday. Looking forward to this next chapter. The new system, which will also apply to Instagram and Threads, aims to lift restrictions on certain topics that are now considered part of mainstream discourse. Kevin Sanders reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
Next guest is not here, right?
Not yet.
Yeah. Things happen.
Nope.
I don't think he's in California. which was the story last night. There's a couple of things in that news there. First of all, North Korea, just send a missile over to Shoreham, make it land right on my house. That's what I want. This consumer protection thing, whatever, removing medical debt so that you can get a better credit score, but you still don't have the money, which means you're going to default on whatever credit you get. I don't think they're thinking this thing through. I mean, is it just me, or is it seems like just giving you the ability to get more credit, even though you're fucking broke, is not exactly.
I don't think that's necessarily true, because there was quite a few years ago, I actually could afford everything I had. And I was not in debt or anything, but there was a mistake on my credit report, which I didn't even know about because I wasn't like in arrears or anything. I went to go get a second mortgage and they pulled up this mistake.
Right.
Which had literally nothing to do with me. And it affected the fact that, they wanted to charge me too much money, extra interest, and it just took forever to get it cleaned up.
I hear what you're
saying. So some people can afford the things they're trying to get. It's just that they can't, whatever it is, for whatever reason, they can't get the credit.
No, I get it.
The only debt I have is medical debt.
Right. But the fact that you were financially sound, but they were putting mistakes on your credit report, right? That's what you're saying, CD.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even still, like they tried to put like a $25 thing or credit from a medical thing on my credit report. A medical $25. $25 they're gonna put on my credit report. Okay, $25 fucking dollars. No. Right. I'm just saying there's instances where
I get it, but you're talking about wiping out the credit report, which is legitimate debt that they have that they can't pay, and then allowing them to get more credit. So
I think it should be case by case, honestly, because there's junkies that rack up hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars worth of bills just to go in and get a fix. So those people should absolutely not have that kind of help when they're purposely doing it.
So eliminate that medical stuff from the credit report, and that way because they're not even going to look at you to see if there's a case by case thing. They're just going to say, look at this, their credit report is too low. We're not even going to think about it. You get rid of that, then they can go case by case, because at least they'll look at you. They're not even looking at some of these people because of the credit scores.
Because, like, for example, the medical debt that I incurred was when my Medicaid had lapsed, and then I had went septic trying to wait for my Medicaid to be reapplied. So, it was something that was kind of outside of my control.
You need to stand up and pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
I did. I did all the way up until my blood became poison. So.
Hey, when a creditor calls me, I just tell them, "Hey, I got a concept of a plan to pay you." Then I just hang up.
Well, I get an email address, then I send them pictures of your feet.
Whenever, no, it's been a while, but whenever bill collectors used to call, I used to tell them I was dead. Matt, oh, I'm sorry, he passed away. You didn't hear?
Matt's dead.
Yeah.
Well, at least now it's so easy. You can just put it right to voicemail if someone calls you.
Yeah. But we recognize your voice. That's you. No, he's dead. I'm just. Well, how come you have his son? How come you have his cell phone?
I used to answer, and
it's not working.
And if it was like silent for a second, I knew I'd either hang up because that was their system. Like, oh wait, someone actually answered. So then I would hang up. Or as soon as I heard them, and they'd be like, I just hang up.
Try this might work. Oh no, this will get them to call back more often. You just say, I can't talk right now. I'm sniffing panties.
Actually, what I've been doing lately is I just answer and I just let them listen to the show.
That would, yeah.
Or you could just say, "Hi, this is 410," and say the number and act like you're the answering machine.
What's an answering machine, Steven?
An answering machine is a machine that used to take a mini cassette tape that would record a message from an incoming caller, sometimes with an outgoing message, sometimes stating, "Hi, you've reached insert name. Thank you for calling. I'm unable to come to the phone right now. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. Please leave a message after the tone. Beep.
Yeah.
Stephen Wright has a bit about his message on his cell phone, and the message said, "Hi, I'm in right now. Please call me at home."
I used to pick the most annoying ringback tones when people would call. Like, it used to be Weird Al for the longest time. Just fat is what would play when you call.
Great Koch. When he was
Koch got your tongue?
Yeah. When he was on with Beato, he was talking about and I don't know anybody who actually did this. He was talking about used to be a thing that musicians would play something into their little cassette tape in their answering machine. And he did one that was really complicated, and people said, "You got to make a song out of that." But it was like all over, like craziness. But I never did that. But I did do a hypnosis induction as a message thing that was 3.5 minutes long, and man, that pissed people off. It'd be like,
leave it to Matt to try to date rape people just calling into him. Yeah. You're getting sleepy.
What? No, it's not. You're
getting light.
The actual hypnotic, standard part of hypnotic inductions is sneaking in
slipping in.
Yeah,
sneaking in, slipping in.
You're trying to Manchurian candidate people calling you.
Counting, countdown. Like, I'd like you. Hi, I'm not home right now, but I would love to hear for your message. Maybe you should think about all the reasons that you wanted to talk to me. Maybe you just wanted to shoot the breeze, or maybe you had something important to tell me, or 9, or 8, 7, 6, and just count them down like that. But it took 3.5 minutes, and by the time it got, people were like, "Fuck you, asshole! I want to leave a fucking message."
If you would like a creepy cameo, please see Matt Napo, and he'll send it to whoever you want.
Now, a creepy cameo, that should be maybe I should. That's an idea. There's an idea in there, because cameo.com is already taken, but I could do creepycameo.com where people just like create the creepiest personalized messages. Hi,
you've reached Matt.
I am Matt Napo from Coffee with the Dog. Are your panties wet and stinky?
Oh my God.
Hi. Is it hi? Please leave a message and make it as long as you want. If you'd like to hear the sound of your own voice, just keep talking and talking and talking and talking.
Hello.
Right.
Am I making you damp yet?
So Dr. Chinaka is not going to show up here.
I wouldn't either. What if you just popped in and just heard the last 30 seconds of what was just going on? I would have disappeared too.
Well, now what it was the GD talking about the sound of your own voice? It wasn't my panty sniffing thing, was it?
It was definitely your panty thing that you just did.
I thought that was like a feature, not a bug.
Wet and stinky. That's not a feature I look for. Nope.
Well, what panties are you wearing right now?
None. I don't wear panties. That's disgusting.
So you're
no, logistically, like I don't think panties can.
You're just out there, Jerry?
No, I'm wearing boxer briefs.
Oh, boxers! Wow.
Have you ever tried the briefs that have the ball sack in them to keep the testicles separate?
My brother actually he ordered me a pair with Rorschach dicks all over them. So I'm getting ready to go pick those up soon. So I'm going to try them out for the first time.
I knew a guy whose last name was Ballsack.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. I think it just rings a bell like I used to.
I still think we need to carry a line of Matt Napo dolls with all the jobs you've had, because you're like Barbie.
Without the hourglass figure.
Yeah,
he's like Barbie without his body shape is attainable.
We can have like Morgue Matt Napo, and journalist Matt Napo, and radio host Matt Napo, runaway Matt Napo.
You had to pick Barbie, not G.I. Joe, because there were a lot of different G.I. Joes.
Yeah, but they were all badass,
they're all masculine
military dudes and masculine.
Yeah, they're all masculine. Yeah.
You're Matt Napo, so Soft and Supple is the name of the game. So and then think about all the different outfits and hats, all the hats, and then like
matching handbags.
Yeah, and then you can change out your mustache for different
I only
ages.
have 2 hats. One is a beret, and the other one's a Tim Pool hat.
Hey, a Tim Pool hat, a beret, a cowboy hat.
Oh, I do have a cowboy hat.
Yep, yeah.
I do have a cowboy hat.
Your Turkish fez. Was that fetish?
I don't know. So
I think that was a fetish, but
we have no guests. We have nothing to do in this hour. But so you
no,
guys
we have show business.
We do.
Yep.
Nobody told me. How do you know?
You didn't ask.
How do you know that? And I don't know that.
I could tell by the look on Ron's face, and we're sitting here doing nothing for like 2 minutes. Ron is thinking, "I do have show business. We don't have to sit here and talk about nothing. We can actually look at videos and talk about nothing."
Are you sure? All right, I have to investigate what's going on in the chat room. Something's going on in the chat room that we have to investigate. But I'll play showbiz in the meantime.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz.
Showbiz. Oh, showbiz. Showbiz. Oh, Eden Minucci. Welcome to
Hey, it's me and GD hanging out.
Yep, it's Thirsty Thursday, so please come out. These are 2 of the chefs that work at Minucci's. As you can see, that is, the Minucci's outfit and proper uniform. So eat at Minucci's.
I have to think those nipples were Photoshop enhanced.
That's AI, and it won't let you. It won't let you say. It won't generate anything if you put 2 large men wrestling in bikinis. It won't let you do it.
Wow.
What if you say 2 large men wrestling without bikinis?
Yeah, it'll probably say, "I'm Sir Turtle."
So AI's got some weird little rules there about what it will and won't do. I listen. You're a robot. You do whatever the fuck I tell you to do. You work for me.
Yeah, you bitch. Sorry.
Well, I guess they're just trying to stop people. The excuses we don't want to make inappropriate images.
Mr. Pepperoni Nipples disagrees, but anyways.
Yeah. So this is comedian Jim Short. He passed away the other day. He is, I guess, from what I've read about him, is very popular comedian out in the San Francisco area. He was a co-host on the Margaret Cho podcast. So he has passed away at the age of 58.
He was like English though, or something, right? Or Irish, or something like that.
Yeah, I honestly I don't know too much about him, but like if a comedian dies, normally I like to put it in here.
Yeah,
I move up one more spot.
Well, I watched.
I move up one more spot in the comedy hierarchy.
I watched a late night bit of his that because somebody posted it, one of the comedians, but they also said whenever we lose a comedian, I think why not? And was it Dave Smith? No, it wasn't Dave Smith. It was one of those, but one of these right wing like rotten no good comedians. But we always lose the bad ones, and we never lose. I mean, the ones we don't want to lose. We never lose, like Rob Schneider. Why not Rob Schneider?
He's not a comedian. He wouldn't count anyway.
He's contractually obligated to complete one more Grown Ups movie before he dies.
All right.
Oh, that's true. You don't want his estate being sued.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm depressed.
So last night was the Sonny and Abbott crossover. I did not watch. Maybe I'll check it out today. Apparently, if you're a fan of Sonny, there's a lot of Easter eggs in this episode. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia episode with Abbott Elementary will air sometime this spring, and the early word on it I've read it's supposed to be pretty good, but we shall see.
Now, do both? Does the Abbott show take place in Philadelphia as well?
Yes. Yep. Yeah, and the episode that involves the teachers from this show, the teachers will go to Patty's Pub after.
How come If It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, how come all the Rocky movies were rainy and snowy?
Winner.
Oh.
Ian says, why not Landau about when the comedians die? Because if Landau dies, Stephen will have nobody to steal jokes from. That's all.
I didn't even, you know what? I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
You just did.
responded.
You just dignified that
Yeah,
one.
I know.
you just
That
responded.
response doesn't make sense. It never has to me, okay? I'm young-ish.
All right, get Landau on the line. I want him to meet Stephen. There's Landau right now.
Yeah.
What's Stephen?
So the WWE Raw had its highest ratings in 5 years on its debut on Netflix.
Did they have that awful guy who did the Tyson, whatever his name was, fight the Jake Paul fight? Well, that crazy guy was just so excited to take a shit.
I think Logan Paul is the one that's involved.
Logan Paul is now a full-time WWE superstar.
Wow.
Yep.
Yeah. So will this bring more? I don't know if this was just excitement for the first one, but we'll see if this continues. Why do you think it did so well, Stephen?
I think it was a combination of people being curious on how it's going to go now that it's got, it's way less rules to follow than it had to on broadcast television. So I think people were curious, and I think people were pleasantly surprised at how loose they were. Commentary was way looser than they usually are. So I think that, and then combination with, of course, it's the first time Raw hasn't been on TV in 30 years. So
yeah, basically, it's like when HBO or when cable first came out. They curse on there, and they can have sex.
Yeah,
on
exactly.
There.
It's one of those things. It was a combination of its history, it's new, it's shiny. I think it'll definitely die back down a little bit, back to probably where it normally is with ratings, but we'll see. I mean, if they can keep pushing the envelope with what they're allowed to do, it'll keep bringing people back.
Now, are these two fat marshmallows? Are they wrestlers? The guys in this picture here?
I'm pretty sure that's an AI image.
Oh, I thought maybe they were, I don't know, part of the show that we're talking about here, the raw, because they look kind of raw. They look like raw pork.
Those are bears. Those are the ones that they chase otters.
Seems like we have a lot of male nipple on this episode of.
Yeah, well, now that they're on Netflix, will you think there will be a very gay wrestler now?
I thought there was one.
Well, so the general
well, no,
fan
most
base,
of that's hidden.
The general fan base, the last time an openly gay or trans wrestler came through, it was not received well. So I don't know. I doubt it.
I don't know if you guys remember. There's a wrestler called Beautiful Bobby. Yeah, now, I don't know if he was just flamboyant or if his character was supposed to be gay.
Every generation has one of those kind of gender queer, gender fluid type characters. Goldust was the one of the 90s and 2000s.
Gorgeous George from the 1960s, and
yeah. So I mean, yeah, there's always one or two, but I mean, the last time they tried pushing that kind of that angle, it just didn't work.
No, I think there's a opportunity here for a guy who is flamboyantly gay, and his mission is to rub his stinky balls on the other guy's face.
That was a character in the 90s and 2000s. So
what was his name? Stinky Balls?
No, it was Vince McMahon.
Yeah. Well.
Donald Trump.
Wrestling isn't gay; it's homoerotic.
Right.
I was gonna say it's. I would say it's definitely more homoerotic than it is full on gay.
Yeah,
because they do. Because I mean, you watch the lady wrestlers, and you're like, "Damn," you know what I'm saying? Like,
you guys got to tune into Rowdy Armstrong.
Yeah, no, I think the female wrestlers are there just to portray some straightness, but the rest,
and it works. It works. I'm down with that. That's fine.
Speaking of lady wrestlers,
Jessica Alba is headed for divorce, so I want her to know that I am on the market as well. So let's go.
Well, I mean, we talked yesterday about the hourglass figure. Look how slim her waist looks there. I mean, is that even humanly possible? Like her waist is the girth of my dick.
And she's petite anyway. She's not a very large woman. She's very petite.
That's what they call Ozempic figure.
No, she's not.
No, she's hot.
Yeah.
She's hot. She's never needed Ozempic. She's
how old is she? She's in her 40s, you think?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know exactly, but I would say 40s at this point.
Yeah.
She's not into older men who can't get it up.
Nope.
Nope. So that cuts you out, Matt.
Yes, it does.
So yes, she is 43 years old. So Jessica, slide into my DMs.
Hey, no. Hey, you're only 10 years older than me. Don't go with Grandpa.
I would like that to be my my last meal if I'm on like death row and they ask me what my last meal would be. Jessica Alba.
So if you're looking to buy a part of TV history, the Breaking Bad house is up for sale. It is currently going for $4 million. And
where is it?
In Albuquerque, New Mexico.
That's like a big price for Albuquerque. Listen, I've been there's nothing in Albuquerque worth $4 million. It's only because it was a television house.
Exactly. But here's the fun part: if you buy it and rent it out as an Airbnb, you can make about $300,000 a year off of that.
All right,
easily.
So let's all chip in for this. I'll put in my $4.
And if you have the blue meth there available as like samples, you could probably even get more.
Yeah, but $300,000 a year, that's not a bad profit that you could keep bringing in. So you could afford your mortgage, then you could definitely pay the house off in no time.
How much is the interest on $4 million? Like if I were
$6 million.
If I were to take out a loan for $4 million, the interest would probably be that $300,000 that I'm going to make doing the.
If somebody bought that, they had to buy that in cash because I don't think anybody would finance that house for $4 million. It's not because when you buy a house, history is not something that you can like.
This is why you are. I need you to be my financial advisor. You are right on top of the numbers quickly, like a CPA. He's not GD. He's CPA Fenderson.
Well, look.
No,
here's the thing.
Good.
This show is going to go down in history as one of like the quintessential TV shows, right? So
yes,
I thought you meant this show.
But that has nothing to do with the living space and footage and square footage and amenities.
That doesn't matter. You're looking at it wrong. This is an investment property.
Yeah,
but nobody's going to finance when a bank finances.
This is a $4 million movie prop that can generate $300,000 a year just from Airbnb.
But think about this, though. Think about this. You buy the property. You put some props in the house from the show. You make it like a live-in B&B museum, right? People are going to come from all over the world to check it out. They're going to want to stay the night there. It's just going to keep generating money. Yeah.
Well, call me Grandpa. I wouldn't do it.
Fighting about this.
So a trailer for this movie called The Lost Lands has come out. It's based off of a George R.R. Martin short story. George R.R. Martin is the same guy who wrote Game of Thrones, and apparently they're still waiting for him to write another book. But George will probably die before that happens.
Hopefully, I will too.
But this has Dave Bautista and Mila Kunis in it, and the director has he is from all the Resident Evil movies, starring Mila. So the early word is supposed to be like just a fun fantasy movie. We shall see, though. All right. Speaking,
oh my God.
Yes. Why does it smell like wolf pussy in here? Because January.
I've said that line so many times in my life.
Yeah. January 15th, the new Wolfman movie drops. The Universal Monsters reboot continues. If you want, the trailer is out there, and they show the fucking werewolf in it, which is dumb. Stop fucking doing this shit in trailers where you show the entire movie and you can figure out the ending most of the time.
Wow.
Well, if they already show the wolf, then I don't even need to watch it.
Yeah. Is anyone excited about the Wolfman?
Fuck no.
Oh, they're going to show the wolf pussy?
Probably not.
Yeah. Oh, I got a little excited for like a half a second.
it's gonna be Wolf Bussy, and it's gonna be a bunch of dude on dude wolf action, and it's gonna be featuring Team Jacob, and yeah, it's gonna be super gay.
Wrong.
Steven
Actually,
revealing his own personal fantasies here.
I think they should reboot it as a sitcom. And the pilot episode is that these male and female werewolf are living together, and the female werewolf shaves her wolf's pussy, and the male werewolf is like, I don't know what to do. Right there's your whole setup.
Speaking of Night Bitch, has anybody seen that yet?
No, it's on my list to watch. It's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Not hilarious.
Nope, it's not on Hilarious. It's just on Hulu.
All right.
All right. So, is the Black Panther coming back? There are
not that one. He dead.
Yeah, there are rumors that the character is going to appear again in other movies because this is a comic book movie, so they can recast him without recasting him officially because he'll be a variant of the old Black Panther.
Is there a line that says, "Why does it smell like panther pussy in here"?
No,
I'm not going to see that. Fuck that.
No, this is for like GD and Steven and all the other nerds out there that want to see, Marvel and this Doomsday movie that's coming out. So apparently, you're going to see all sorts of variants of superheroes that have died because Captain America is coming back, and I'm sure they'll rope Scarlett Johansson into it. They'll throw a bunch of money at her. So why wouldn't you do it?
Well, I don't know. I would do it only because it would pay for me to get in shape. They were fine. Maybe they could find my 6-pack abs underneath of this keg.
I personally wouldn't do it because I need a nap, and I always need a nap all day long, every day.
You can be the superhero, the napper, and you just nap.
Could be. I'd be Nap Man.
Yeah. It might happen. So enjoy the suffering, everybody. It's Thursday. Enjoy it.
Okay, what is the... Oh, okay, Ron, what's the prompt?
Just a giant hand coming out of a hole, grabbing people.
Well, yesterday's final picture was compelling because we had a dog's butt. And I thought I saw Jesus in the dog's butt, but it was actually GD in the dog's butt. It was I would revisit yesterday if anybody's listening and is compelled by that description and want to see GD in a dog's butt.
Unless you're the dog, you don't want to see me in your butt.
I don't know. It seemed like an omen.
Right. Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Who's playing that? Where is that coming from?
Where's what coming from?
What?
Never mind.
Oh, we're watching yesterday. Somebody's watching yesterday's movie or something?
No.
No.
That was just fucking crazy.
No. Yesterday, I went to 2 mics, and both mics were terrible. Well, not terrible, but... Man,
but you have a gig tonight, right? Or no, that's tomorrow night.
Yeah, tomorrow, and then.
All right, make everybody want to come to Long Island on January 24th. Can you do that? Make it right now. Let's hear your best pitch why people should come to Long Island, New York on January 24th. Wow.
Go ahead.
Dead silence.
Yeah.
That's the reason everybody should come to Long Island, New York on January 24th.
If you think Coffee with the Dog is
fresh brewed comedy at Governor's Comedy Club featuring Tony Walker, Stephen Ortiz,
I'm not going.
Ron Kane,
Oh, I might.
GD Fenderson.
Oh, I'm definitely not.
Get your tickets today at seedengine.com at Governor's Comedy Club. Make your date night funny.
All right, who did the voiceover for that? That's what who's that guy doing the voiceover? Is that AI?
How do you get that off of the screen? Oh, never mind. I see it.
Who did that voiceover? We don't know.
You have to ask Ron because he actually created the promo.
All right, Ron, who's your voiceover guy?
So that was me. Then I just
No, it ain't.
Then I throw an effect on it. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just. I find it just hard to believe. All right, so that's why you should come to Long Island, New York, on January 24th in the Giggle Room at Levittown. Tickets are only $20. Listen, where can you beat that? On Long Island, you can't even buy an egg sandwich for $20. Come on.
Really?
Come hang out. Check out stuff that we can't even say on the show. It'll be great.
No, that's actually kind of a lie, but it's close to 20. I think it's like $14 for like a basic egg sandwich in the morning now, because the price of eggs is because the guy who promised you he would bring the price of eggs down lied. I don't know if you're familiar with lying, but it happens. Yeah. So basically, you can, instead of eating your egg sandwich, go to Governor's Comedy Club Giggle Room on the 24th, and maybe one of the guys will make you laugh once. Probably be Tony Miller.
We're actually going to have a pool to see who that is.
I think it'll be Tony Miller.
And you can bet on the comedian that's going to make you laugh the most, and then you win.
Now, I noticed in that promo there's a beer. Are you familiar with how much the beers cost in the Giggle Room?
I thought that was I didn't know that was actually a beer. I thought that was just yellow coffee.
Okay, could be yellow. You know how much yellow coffee goes for in the Giggle Room?
$12.50.
$4 million.
For $4 million, you can get a staged Cranston home.
You could get, yeah, and it looks like the Brady Bunch house too. It looks like Breaking Brady.
Hey, after the show, GD and Steven, are you free for a few minutes?
Free.
Yeah.
I mean, this show or the one in January?
I don't know. What the fuck do you think, GD? Jesus Christ.
I just want to say you got to be careful if you ask GD if he's free. He's just a little sensitive about that.
Yeah. Well, I am free. Thank you, Abe Lincoln.
Free at last. Free at last. Lord Almighty, he's free at last.
All right. Well, after this show finishes, I'll send you both a link, and we'll have a quick conference call.
I think the show finished 2 hours.
Okay.
If you could still use the conference room in StreamYard, by the way. It's still there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use my StreamYard.
All right. Yeah. You know what? I wonder if you guys can actually access my StreamYard thing, because that was the thing. I didn't pay for those fucking co-host seats that were, I don't know.
No, because I was just there the other day because I used it, and it's not.
Nice. Yeah. All right. So we have nothing left to say. Got stood up by this guest here.
Son of a bitch.
Well, I don't really care. I'm not heartbroken by the whole thing. Are you? Were you really excited to learn about power parenting? You probably were, because you have kids.
Oh, I thought power bottoming. That's what we're talking about.
How do you power bottom?
Power bottom your kids.
No, I don't struggle parenting, so.
I was just looking forward to interview Dr. John. So Dr. John said, "I'm in the right place. Must have been the wrong time."
Well, I was just going to ask her, when are you supposed to move the kids from Benadryl to whiskey?
Oh, you're supposed to start at Benadryl? Oops.
I hung out with Dr. John for like 2 hours at a folk. It was a folk festival, folk music festival. I don't know why he was there, because it wasn't folk. He's not a folk artist. David Bromberg was playing, and we were backstage, and he came over and he was saying, "Great guy, Dr. John."
Does he talk like he sings?
Yeah, exactly like he sings.
Hey, Matt, what's going on, Matt? Like that? Yeah.
Did he pass? I think recently he might have passed. I don't know.
I don't know.
I shouldn't wish that on him.
He died June 6th, 2019.
Yeah. So that's
I bet you it was from COVID, because there's
might have been the right place, might have been the right time.
He looks like a type of guy. He's like, yeah,
Wasn't 19? Oh, well, no, 19 was the year, right? It's COVID-19, but it really didn't hit America until 2020, right?
Something, yeah.
Anyway, Dr. John, great guy, good guy.
Now, speaking of good guys, but Jackie Martling. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did, Jackie, but you didn't say the joke man, which
that's what I was asking.
Make him cry.
Yeah, there's Dr. John for anyone.
He was in the right place, but it could have been the wrong.
Yeah. Now, I've reached out to him twice, texted him twice, and he usually gets back to me. And twice he didn't get back.
He's dead, GD. He's been dead for a few years.
No, he's talking about Jackie the joke man, Martling.
Oh.
Now, here's the deal. I will tell you why Jackie. He gets up early to do this show, or to do Opie's show, or to do that dude on ABC Radio, the conservative guy. But generally, the best time to text him is like midnight or after. He's all over texting. I got a text from him midnight last night. So if you want to get in touch with him, that's the time to do it. I'm just looking now. 1:15. He texted me. So you want to? What were you trying to get in touch with Jackie? Or you trying to? You want?
Once I was just wishing him a happy birthday. It was actually on his birthday, and he never got back. But
no, it's not his birthday.
No, I said when it was.
Oh.
And the other thing was, I was asking him about the time that he met Les Paul. I wanted to know about the time that he met Les Paul, and he didn't
know about meeting Les Paul. I could tell you everything about him. Anybody could meet Les Paul. Everybody I know from Long Island has gone to the Iridium when Les was running he was having a jazz night, but it was really an open mic night, and you could go up and play with Les Paul.
That's pretty neat.
Very open to meeting local players, and if he would let you up on stage for one song, and if you didn't suck, he would let you stay for more songs, and if you did suck, he would politely find a way to say thank you and get off my fucking stage.
Do you get to pick the song so you don't suck, or does he say, "Okay, now play Bohemian Rhapsody"? You'd be like, "Ah!"
He would never play anything.
His assistant comes out on stage and just clobbers you in the head with a Les Paul.
Yeah.
Here we suck.
Fucking idiot, get off stage.
Like El Kabong from the old Huckleberry Hound days. El Kabong.
Steven
McGraw.
Steven, are you with us? Are you with us on this? Huckleberry Hound, El Kabong.
No,
it was actually Quick Straw. It was Quick Straw McGraw, not Huckleberry Hound. Quick Straw McGraw, because he was the
Kabong.
Yeah, El Kabong was the alter ego.
Nope. Nope.
No.
Baba Booey was Quick Draw's sidekick.
Right? Yeah, his little mule sidekick.
Baba Louie.
His little ass on the side.
Baba Booey was from Howard Stern, right?
Baba Booey was.
Sounds like a bunch of old guys having hallucinations, is what it sounds like.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Now you're thinking of Witchy Poo and one with the magic flute. That was a hallucination.
Can anybody pull up a picture of Quick Draw McGraw as El Kabong to kind of?
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
And remind me that the show with Witchy Poo and the magic flute. I can't remember the name of that show. HR Huff and Puff. HR Puff and Stuff.
Puff and Stuff.
HR Puff and Stuff. Yeah, that was a hallucination. That show was all drug-addled hallucination. From concept to finish, that was all drugs.
Oh, Dr. Chinaka. I hate to tell you this, but we're just about ready to wrap it up. The show is just about over. You're supposed to be here an hour ago or 45 minutes ago. That's Bob. That's Quick Draw.
Okay. Well, okay,
that's Quick Draw.
I recognize Quick Draw and the two dogs. That's it.
Augie Doggy and his doggy daddy.
Yeah, the cat I vaguely remember. And
well, the cat and the mouse are a team together. Damn, what's the cat? He was a spy, right?
That was
damn it.
I can't remember.
Guys, I fear this is a little after my time.
A little after your time?
A little before my time.
Yeah.
Okay, probably.
Yep.
This is what, 60s?
That's Speedy Gonzalez.
No, that's not Speedy Gonzalez.
Yeah,
No, Speedy
oh
Gonzalez.
no, that's Baba Louie. That's right. Who's the little mouse? Who's the mouse there? Topo
That's what I'm trying
Gigio?
to think.
No.
The cat is. I'm running out of cat names. I remember Courageous Cat and Minute
The
Mouse.
mouse is Speedy Gonzalez. Isn't the mouse?
No, the mouse is not Speedy Gonzalez.
Who is it?
Speedy Gonzalez was Mexican. That cat, that mouse is a spy, or the detective with the cat.
And that's Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy.
Right, Augie Doggy and Doggy Daddy.
The mouse isn't.
This sounds really homoerotic.
It is.
Doggy Daddy.
Doggy
Oh
Daddy. Yeah. Dr. Tanaka showed up here, but I scared him away. But you know what? It's time to go anyway. See?
Hey, speaking of old that won't come back, here we go.
That's the
Frito Bandito.
Ay. Now, do you know that song? I am the Frito Bandito. Do you know the song that it was based upon? It was stolen from. Do you know?
I do not.
No.
Cholito Lindo.
All right. Well, let's crash this into a wall so we can get this little meeting out of the way.
No, I refuse to crash it into a wall.
Fine.
None of you guys could stop the show, end the show without me, right? You don't know how to end the show?
I don't have an end stream button.
You don't see an end stream button on the bottom there?
Yeah, it's called close your browser.
No, yeah, I only have.
But I don't leave me here just sitting here doing nothing.
I can do this.
It sounds like a hockey penalty or something. No, what are you doing? That's from your little dopey little iPad there.
No, that's just the react button on Streamlabs.
Oh, those react things. Yeah, I'm all over this. All right, we'll end it. I'll apologize to Dr. Tanaka for a time zone issue. Probably a time zone issue, right? You think?
I would imagine so.
Well, why would he show up at like 10:58? Well, not instead of like 11:15.
Was Mr. Jinx? Was that the cat, Mr. Jinx?
Mr. Jinx.
We're past that, GD.
I'm not past. No, that's not Mr. Jinx. Oh no, that's Mr. No, Mr. Jinx is not. That's not Mr. Jinx. I'm sorry, I'm not past it because I'm stuck on it.
Yeah, that's gonna bother me too because it's like right on the tip of my brain. Can you see it?
No.
All right.
I sent out the link for the meeting, gentlemen. It's in your Facebook message.
I didn't get it. Nobody sent it to me. You don't want me in the. You don't want me in the meeting. You don't want me to eavesdrop. All right.
No.
All right. I'm gonna click the end button and just get out of here. Look, Steven's still there, but he's hiding. You see that? You know why he's hiding? He's waiting for me to say,